Hey folks, welcome back to Stoic Talks. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make someone genuinely interested in you without feeling like you're constantly being pulled in all directions, losing yourself in the process? It's as if the more you pursue them, the more they pull away, leaving you feeling like a puppet on a string, dancing to their tune. Like no matter how much you try to stand out, it feels like you're just pushing them further away. What if there was a way to draw them closer? What if the secret lies not in chasing, but in embracing a completely different approach? Well, my friends, our wise Stoic gems have some powerful insights that can change the game, and today, we're diving deep into how you can harness this wisdom to rewrite your relationship life and transform yourself into someone who no longer dances to their tune, but instead sets the rhythm they can't resist. Imagine the unshakable confidence that comes from not needing to prove yourself, from no longer fighting for someone's fleeting attention. Picture yourself so deeply rooted in your own worth that your presence alone becomes a force of nature, drawing others in without effort, without compromise. Today, we're diving into a powerful Stoic strategy that flips the script on everything you thought you knew about relationships. This isn't about playing games or pretending to be something you're not. It's about mastering the art of deliberate detachment, where your energy is channeled into your own growth, your own happiness. This self-investment becomes a beacon, one that others can't help but be drawn to. Today, we're going to rewrite your relationship life with the magic of 10 powerful Stoic habits that will transform not just how others see you, but how you see yourself. As our wise gem LLY Daskal wisely said, when you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you. This doesn't mean you should settle for less or stop seeking meaningful connections. It's not about abandoning your desires for love or connection. Rather, it's about recognizing your worth and allowing the right kind of love to find you naturally. It's about letting go of the exhausting chase and creating space for what truly belongs in your life to come to you without forcing it. Because if you choose the path of chasing, forcing someone to become part of your life, you might get them, but the result could be a disaster. As the philosophy warns, you could end up being used as trash or worse, find yourself as nothing more than a puppet in their hands. So, my friends, when we have that path, our wise Stoic friends have crafted for us, why not choose the one that honors your worth and leads to genuine, fulfilling connections where you will be treated as an equal instead of their personal puppet? So, my friends, are you ready to explore these transformative Stoic habits and start living a life where you command respect, attract genuine connections, and never have to dance to anyone else's tune again? But before we dive into these transformative principles, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. By doing this, you're not just supporting the channel, you're sending a signal to YouTube that more people should watch this video and get the help they need in their relationship lives. And by helping others, my friend, you're aligning yourself with the universe, setting the stage for it to help you in return. I've done my part by creating this video, and now the next move is yours. So go ahead, hit that like button, and take charge of helping others. Done, my friend? Let's act as if you already have. Go number 1, act as if you already have. So folks, let's dive into the first habit, act as if you already have. Now, at first glance, this might sound a bit strange, even counterintuitive, especially when you're really into someone. You might think, how can I act like I already have their attention or love when I clearly don't? But trust me, this principle is a game changer. And when you fully embrace it, you'll see how powerful it can be in drawing others toward you. Let's start by breaking down what it means to act as if you already have. This isn't about pretending or being delusional. It's about adopting a mindset that exudes confidence, self-assurance, and fulfillment. When you act as if you already have what you desire, whether it's someone's love, attention, or respect, you naturally embody the qualities of someone who is content, self-sufficient, and attractive. Think about it. People are naturally drawn to those who seem to have their lives together, who aren't desperate or needy. When you act as if you already have what you want, you project an aura of confidence and calm that others find irresistible. It's not about faking it. It's about genuinely cultivating a mindset of abundance. Imagine this. You're at a social gathering, and there's someone there you're really interested in. Most people might try to impress that person, maybe even bend over backward to get their attention. But what if, instead, you walked in as if you already had their attention? You don't chase them around. You don't fawn over them. You simply enjoy yourself, engage with others, and let your natural charm shine. This calm confidence will stand out more than any flashy gesture. They'll notice that you're different, that you're not desperate for their attention, because in your mind, you already have it. This might seem simple, but it's incredibly important. When you act as if you already have their affection, you avoid the common traps of overextending yourself or coming across as needy. Think about it. Nothing repels more than desperation. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." When you have fewer wants, especially when it comes to seeking someone's attention, you exude a sense of completeness that others find incredibly attractive. Let's apply this concept to different relationship scenarios. First, let's say you're trying to attract someone new. Instead of chasing them, constantly texting, or trying too hard to impress, you act as if they're already interested in you. You focus on being your best self, confident, engaging, and relaxed. This self-assurance will make you stand out, as most people are too busy trying to win others over. Now imagine you're in a relationship where the flame isn't as strong as it used to be. Maybe you've been trying hard to reignite that spark, but nothing seems to work. Here's where acting as if you already have their love comes into play. Instead of stressing over the fading passion, focus on living as if the love is already there. Be the confident, attractive person you were when the relationship started. Engage in activities that make you feel fulfilled and happy, independent of your partner. When they see that you're not desperate to fix things, that you're content and confident, it can reignite their attraction to you. And what about when you're dealing with an ex? You might feel the urge to show them how much you've changed, to prove that you're worth another chance. But instead of trying too hard, act as if you're already thriving without them. Live your life to the fullest, focus on your growth, and don't make them the center of your world. When they see you happy and successful without them, it might make them realize what they've lost. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By thinking and acting as if you already have what you desire, you create a powerful magnetic presence that draws others in. But how do you incorporate this habit into your life? It's all about mindset. Start by visualizing yourself as the person who already has what you want. How would you act? How would you speak? How would you carry yourself? Practice this mindset daily, whether you're at work, socializing, or even just at home. The key is consistency. Over time, this mindset will become second nature. Now, you might be wondering, what if it feels difficult to act as if you already have something when you clearly don't? It's normal to feel this way, especially if you're used to seeking validation from others. But here's where the Stoic practice of detachment comes in. Detach from the outcome. Focus on the process of becoming the best version of yourself rather than on winning someone's affection. As you do this, you'll start to feel more self-assured, and acting as if you already have what you want will become easier. If you ever find yourself struggling with this habit, remember the wisdom of Seneca. He who is brave is free. Bravery here means being bold enough to believe in your own worth, to act with confidence even when the outcome is uncertain. It's about freeing yourself from the need for external validation and embracing the power that comes from within. To really solidify this mindset, let's take a moment for an affirmation. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Now, affirm, you are already mine. Done. Now go ahead and drop it in the comments, declare it loud, and let the universe feel your unshakable confidence. Show the world that you're here to claim what's yours, not to chase, but to attract what is meant for you. So, my friends, by acting as if you already have what you desire, you're not just playing a role, you're stepping into your true power. You're living as the confident, magnetic person you are, and that's exactly what will draw others to you naturally and effortlessly. So, my friends, up to this point, if you have any questions, a different perspective, or a personal experience, let's dive into that in the comments. Let's take charge and build a powerful community together. And if everything is crystal clear, this video definitely deserves a thumbs up. So, go ahead, subscribe if you haven't already, and yes, smash that like button. And folks, this is just the beginning. We've got 9 more transformative principles to go, so stay with me. Today is the day you start taking control, embracing your power, and transforming your relationships like never before. Number 2, become unpredictably unavailable. So, folks, let's move on to our second habit. Become unpredictably unavailable. Now, I know this might sound a bit counterintuitive at first. After all, if you're really into someone, shouldn't you be there for them all the time? Shouldn't you be readily available to show them how much you care? Well, let me tell you, constantly being available can act naturally backfire. It's like serving a gourmet meal every single day. Eventually, people start taking it for granted. But when you become unpredictably unavailable, you create an air of mystery and intrigue that makes others crave your presence. Let's break this down. When you're always available, it's easy for the other person to fall into the trap of thinking that you'll always be there no matter what. They may start taking your time, attention, and even your affection for granted. But when you start to mix things up, when you're not always there at their beck and call, they begin to notice your absence. And as the saying goes, absence makes the heart grow fonder. By being unpredictably unavailable, you're allowing them to feel the space you leave behind, making them realize just how much they miss having you around. Imagine this. You're in a relationship where you've always been the one to initiate contact, plan dates, and ensure everything runs smoothly. Over time, this predictability becomes the norm, and your partner starts to expect it without truly appreciating the effort behind it. Now, what if you decided to switch things up? You don't respond immediately to every text, you don't initiate plans for a few days, and you let them come to you instead. Suddenly, they start to wonder, why haven't I heard from them? What are they up to? This curiosity can trigger a shift in how they view you. They realize that your time and attention aren't guaranteed, and that makes them value it more. This doesn't mean playing games or being manipulative. It's about creating a healthy balance where your presence is valued, not taken for granted, wanted. As the saying goes, people only value what they can't have. By becoming unpredictably unavailable, you make them realize that your attention is something special, something that they need to earn and cherish. Let's consider different scenarios. First, if you're trying to attract someone new, being unpredictably unavailable can make you stand out from the crowd. Most people are quick to respond to messages, eager to make plans, and always ready to please. But when you're not always immediately available, it creates a sense of mystery. They start to wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and why you're not constantly chasing them. As the saying goes, mystery is the most powerful aphrodisiac. This mystery can be incredibly alluring. Now, what if you're in a long-term relationship where things have become routine? Maybe the excitement isn't what it used to be, and you're both just going through the motions. In this case, being unpredictably unavailable can reignite that spark. When you're not always around, it forces your partner to reflect on your importance in their life. They begin to miss you, crave your presence, and appreciate you more when you are there. As the poet Khalil Gibran said, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you." It's in these spaces that love has the room to breathe and grow stronger. Even if you're dealing with an ex, this tactic can work wonders. After a breakup, it's natural to want to stay in contact, to show them how much you've changed, or to remind them of the good times. But being unpredictably unavailable sends a different message. It shows that you're not sitting around waiting for them, that you're living your life fully and confidently without them. This can make them second-guess their decision to leave, as they see you thriving and potentially moving on. As Oscar Wilde famously said, "The mystery of love is greater than the mystery of death." By creating that mystery, you invite them to see you in a new, more intriguing light. But how do you become unpredictably unavailable without coming across as disinterested or cold? The key is balance. You don't want to disappear completely or ignore the other person to the point where they think you've lost interest. Instead, it's about being selective with your time. Sometimes respond immediately, other times take your time. Occasionally initiate plans, but sometimes let them be the one to reach out. The goal is to create a sense of unpredictability, not confusion or frustration, but enough to keep things interesting and maintain your sense of independence. You might be thinking, isn't this just playing hard to get? But it's not about playing games. It's about maintaining your self-respect and ensuring that your time and attention are appreciated. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." This means that valuable relationships take time to build and require a balance of give and take. By becoming unpredictably unavailable, you're not withholding love or attention. You're simply ensuring that it's valued and respected. Now, what if it feels difficult to become unpredictably unavailable, especially if you're used to being the one who's always there? It can be challenging to step back, especially if you're afraid of losing the other person's interest. But remember, the goal isn't to create distance. It's to create a healthy dynamic where both parties appreciate and value each other's time. Start small, maybe delay your response to a text, or let them take the lead in planning a date. Over time, you'll find a balance that works for you, one that allows you to maintain your independence while still building a strong connection. As we wrap up this point, let's reflect on the words of Marcus Aurelius. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This is about being authentic in your interactions. By becoming unpredictably unavailable, you're not playing games, but rather ensuring that your presence is respected and valued. So, my friends, embrace this habit and watch how it transforms your relationships, making you not just desirable, but unforgettable. Now take a moment to close your eyes and affirm, I am the prize. Let this affirmation remind you of your unpredictability, your worth, and the power you hold in every interaction. Live by your principles, not by approval. Number 3, live by your principles, not by approval. So, folks, let's jump into our third habit. Live by your principles, not by approval. Now, this might seem like a no-brainer, but when you're really into someone, it's easy to start bending your values just to gain their approval. You might find yourself agreeing to things you wouldn't normally accept or compromising on what you believe in, all in the hope of winning them over. But let me tell you, nothing is more attractive than someone who stands firm in their principles, regardless of what others think. When you live by your principles, you're telling the world, and that special someone, that you know who you are and what you stand for. You're not easily swayed by external opinions or the desire to fit in. This kind of self-assurance is magnetic because it shows that you don't need anyone's approval to feel confident in your own skin. As the famous author Roy T. Bennett said, "Do what is right, not what is easy, nor what is popular." This quote perfectly captures the essence of living by your principles. Imagine this. You're dating someone new, and they suggest doing something that goes against your values. Maybe it's something small, like skipping an important family event, or something bigger, like compromising your beliefs. Now, you might be tempted to go along with it just to make them happy. But what if, instead, you politely but firmly stood your ground? You explain that your values are important to you, and while you appreciate their suggestion, you can't go against what you believe in. This might surprise them at first, but ultimately, it'll earn their respect. They'll see you as someone with integrity, someone who isn't willing to compromise on what's truly important. Living by your principles doesn't just apply to big decisions. It's about the small, everyday choices as well. It's about being consistent in your actions, whether someone is watching or not. When you consistently act in line with your values, you build trust, not just with others, but with yourself. And trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. As the philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." When you conquer the need for approval and stay true to yourself, you become mighty in the eyes of others. Now, let's consider a scenario where you're in a relationship that's lost some of its spark. Maybe you've started to feel like you're constantly trying to please your partner, even at the expense of your own happiness. Here's where living by your principles can reignite that spark. Instead of seeking their approval, focus on what you believe is right for you. Start making decisions based on your own values, and let your partner see that you're someone who is strong and independent. This shift can create a new dynamic in the relationship, one where you're seen as a partner with depth and integrity, not just someone who goes along with whatever is suggested. Even in a situation where you're dealing with an ex, living by your principles can make a huge difference. It's tempting to show them that you've changed, that you're willing to do anything to get them back. But instead of compromising your values, show them that you've grown stronger in them. Let them see that you're not seeking their approval, but rather living your life according to what you believe is right. This kind of strength and self-respect is incredibly attractive and can make them rethink what they lost. But how do you stay true to your principles when it feels difficult, especially when you really want someone's approval? It's all about practice. Start by identifying what your core values are. What are the things you refuse to compromise on? Once you're clear on that, make a commitment to yourself to live by those values, no matter what. It won't always be easy, but the more you practice, the more natural it will become. Remember, the goal isn't to be liked by everyone, but to be respected for who you truly are. As we wrap up this point, let's reflect on the words of Steve Maraboli. Live your truth, express your love, share your enthusiasm, take action towards your dreams, walk your talk, dance and sing to your music, embrace your blessings, make today worth remembering. This is about embracing your true self and letting that shine through in every interaction. Now close your eyes and take a moment to affirm, I stand firm. Let this affirmation remind you of your strength, your integrity, and the power you hold when you live by your principles. Number 4, always be the last to speak. So folks, let's dive into our 4th habit, always be the last to speak. Now this might sound like a simple strategy, but don't let its simplicity fool you. This habit can be incredibly powerful when it comes to relationships. Whether you're trying to attract someone new, rekindle an old flame, or maintain the spark in a long-term relationship, being the last to speak can give you a significant advantage. When you make a conscious effort to listen fully before you respond, you demonstrate a level of patience and respect that is rare and valuable. People often feel the need to jump in to fill the silence or to get their point across first. But when you hold back and listen, really listen, you give the other person space to express themselves. This not only shows that you value their thoughts and opinions, but it also gives you a better understanding of what they truly mean. As Stephen Covey wisely said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. By being the last to speak, you break this mold and create a space for genuine connection. Imagine you're on a date, and the conversation turns to a topic you feel strongly about. It's tempting to jump in with your opinion right away, but what if instead you took a step back and let the other person finish their thoughts completely? You nod, you make eye contact, and you let them know you're genuinely interested in what they have to say. Once they've finished, you take a moment to gather your thoughts before responding. This shows them that you're thoughtful, considerate, and that you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. It sets you apart because it's a clear sign of maturity and confidence. This habit is especially useful in situations where emotions are running high. Let's say you're having a disagreement with your partner. Instead of reacting immediately, which could escalate the situation, you allow them to speak first. You listen without interrupting, and by the time it's your turn to respond, you've had the time to process what they've said and can reply in a calm, measured way. This approach can diffuse tension and lead to a more constructive conversation. As the old saying goes, silence is golden. In this case, it's also strategic. Even if you're dealing with an ex who's trying to push your buttons, being the last to speak can give you the upper hand. They might expect you to react emotionally, but when you take your time, it shows that you're in control of your emotions. This composure can make them see you in a new light, as someone who's not easily rattled and who values thoughtful communication. But how do you incorporate this habit into your life? It's all about practice and mindfulness. Start by making a conscious effort in your daily conversations to let others finish their thoughts before you jump in. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to being more vocal, but with time, you'll find that it becomes a natural part of how you communicate. The benefits are worth it. Not only will you become a better listener, but you'll also find that people are more drawn to you because of the respect and attention you give them. As we wrap up this point, let's reflect on the words of the Buddha. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. This is about choosing your words wisely and speaking with purpose. Now take a moment to close your eyes and affirm, I listen first. Let this affirmation remind you of the power in listening and the strength that comes from speaking last. Number 5. Stop trying to control conversations. So folks, let's talk about our 5th habit. Stop trying to control conversations. Now, I get it. When you're really into someone, there's a natural urge to steer conversations in a direction that shows you in the best light, or to make sure things go the way you want. But here's the thing. Trying to control conversations often backfires. It can come across as manipulative or insecure, and it can stifle the natural flow of interaction that makes conversations truly engaging. When you stop trying to control conversations, you allow for genuine connection to happen. You're not forcing an agenda or trying to predict every outcome. Instead, you're being present in the moment and letting the conversation unfold naturally. This shows confidence and trust in yourself and the other person. As the author Stephen Covey once said, "Seek first to understand, then to be understood." When you listen more and control less, you create a space where the other person feels truly heard and valued. Imagine this. You're on a date, and you really want to impress the other person. It's tempting to steer the conversation towards topics you're comfortable with, or to highlight your best qualities. But what if instead you focused on being genuinely curious about them? You ask open-ended questions, listen intently to their answers, and let the conversation flow wherever it may go. This approach not only relieves the pressure on you, but also makes the other person feel important and appreciated. They're more likely to feel a genuine connection with you because you're not trying to control the interaction. You're simply enjoying the exchange. This habit also applies to long-term relationships. If you're always trying to control the narrative, your partner might feel like they're not being heard or that their opinions don't matter. By letting go of that need for control, you create a healthier dynamic where both parties feel respected and valued. As Bruce Lee wisely said, "Be like water, my friend." When you're flexible and adaptable in conversations, you create a flow that naturally deepens your connection with others. So my friends, stop trying to control conversations and watch how your relationships transform. When you let go and simply enjoy the moment, you'll find that the connections you build are far more authentic and meaningful. Number 6. Embrace independence. So folks, let's talk about our 6th habit. Embrace independence. Now, I know this might sound like a contradiction when you're trying to build a connection with someone, but here's the truth. Nothing is more attractive than someone who is confident and self-sufficient. When you embrace your independence, you show that you're not reliant on anyone else for your happiness or fulfillment, and that's incredibly powerful. Independence doesn't mean distancing yourself from others or refusing to let anyone in. It's about knowing your own worth and not needing constant validation from someone else to feel good about yourself. It's about having your own passions, your own goals, and your own life outside of the relationship. As the writer Wayne Dyer said, "You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with." When you love your own company, others will naturally be drawn to that confidence and self-assuredness. Imagine this. You're in a relationship, and instead of always waiting for your partner to make plans or relying on them to fill your time, you start pursuing your own interests. Maybe it's a hobby you've neglected, or a new project you're passionate about. When you're excited about your own life, that energy becomes contagious. Your partner will start to see you as someone who is vibrant, engaged, and interesting, someone who brings something unique to the table. Even if you're trying to attract someone new, embracing independence can make you stand out. Most people want to be around someone who has their own life and isn't just waiting around for someone to complete them. When you're busy living your best life, it naturally makes you more intriguing and desirable. They'll want to be a part of your world because they see that you don't need them to be whole. You're already complete on your own, but embracing independence isn't always easy, especially if you're used to relying on others for support. Start by setting small goals for yourself, whether it's spending more time alone, picking up a new hobby, or simply making decisions without seeking approval. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. As we wrap up this habit, let's reflect on the words of Aristotle. Happiness depends upon ourselves. Take a moment to affirm, "I shine alone." Let this affirmation remind you that your strength and happiness come from within, and that embracing your independence is the key to building strong, healthy connections with others. Number 7, detach from outcomes. So my friends, let's talk about detaching from outcomes. This might sound a bit odd at first. After all, isn't the whole point of pursuing someone to get a specific outcome, like their love or attention? But here's the thing. When you become too attached to a particular outcome, you start to lose your sense of self. You might find yourself overthinking every interaction, worrying about how they'll respond, and putting all your energy into making sure things go a certain way. But when you detach from the outcome, you free yourself from this constant pressure, and ironically, that's when you become most attractive. Imagine this. You've just gone on a great date, and instead of obsessing over whether they'll call you back, you simply let it be. You enjoyed the moment for what it was, and you're not fixated on what comes next. This kind of detachment shows confidence. It tells the other person that while you're interested, you're not desperate. As the Buddha once said, attachment is the root of suffering. By letting go of the need to control the outcome, you not only reduce your stress, but you also become more relaxed, more present, and ultimately more desirable. Detaching from outcomes doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're not allowing the result to dictate your happiness. You're focused on being the best version of yourself, and you trust that whatever is meant to happen will happen. This mindset shift can be incredibly powerful, not just in relationships, but in every aspect of life. So close your eyes and take a moment to affirm, I trust the process. Let this affirmation remind you that by detaching from outcomes, you're embracing the flow of life, allowing what's meant for you to find you naturally. Number 8, practice negative visualization. So folks, let's dive into our next habit. Practice negative visualization. Now, I know this might sound a bit gloomy at first. Why would you want to visualize negative outcomes? But trust me, this Stoic practice is one of the most powerful tools you can use to strengthen your mind and attract what truly matters. Negative visualization involves imagining the worst-case scenarios, not to dwell on them, but to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally. When you visualize losing something or someone important, you're not giving up hope. You're cultivating gratitude and resilience. You start to appreciate what you have even more, and you become stronger in the face of potential loss. Imagine this. You're really into someone, but instead of obsessing over what could go wrong, you allow yourself to think about life without them. How would you cope? What would you do? By facing these thoughts head-on, you reduce the fear of loss and detach from the outcome. This detachment is incredibly attractive because it shows that you're not clinging to the relationship out of fear. You're in it because you truly value it. As Seneca wisely said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." By practicing negative visualization, you prepare yourself for whatever may come, and in doing so, you find peace and confidence in the present moment. So close your eyes and take a moment to affirm, "I am ready for anything." Let this affirmation remind you that you're strong, resilient, and capable of facing whatever life throws your way. Number 9. Smile during difficult moments. So folks, let's talk about a habit that might seem a bit surprising at first. Smile during difficult moments. Now I know what you're thinking. How can smiling when things are tough possibly help? But here's the thing. Smiling during difficult times isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about maintaining your composure and showing that you're resilient no matter what life throws at you. When you smile during tough times, you're not just trying to convince others that you're okay. You're reminding yourself that you have the strength to get through it. This simple act can shift your mindset from one of defeat to one of determination. As the writer and philosopher Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy." By smiling, you send a powerful message to your brain that you're capable, you're in control, and you can handle whatever comes your way. And this energy is incredibly magnetic. Imagine you're in a tough situation. Maybe you're facing a challenging project at work or dealing with a personal setback. Instead of letting the stress consume you, you take a deep breath and smile. This shift in energy can help you feel more calm and confident, and it can even inspire those around you to remain positive as well. Smiling during difficult moments doesn't mean you're ignoring the challenges you're facing. It means you're choosing to face them with a positive mindset. You're choosing to believe in your ability to overcome adversity. So my friends, start practicing this habit today. When life gets tough, smile. Let it remind you of your inner strength and resilience. Take a moment now to affirm, "I smile through challenges." Let this affirmation remind you that your strength lies in your ability to face difficulties with grace and resilience. And finally, number 10, cultivate mystery. So folks, let's talk about our final habit. Cultivate mystery. Now I know this might sound a little counterintuitive. After all, aren't we supposed to be open and transparent in our relationships? But here's the thing. Sometimes, a little mystery can go a long way. When you're constantly revealing everything about yourself, you risk losing the intrigue and excitement that comes with getting to know someone. But when you leave a little mystery in the air, you create an aura of curiosity that makes others want to know more about you. Think of it like this. The most interesting people are often the ones who don't reveal everything all at once. They leave room for discovery. They share just enough to pique your interest, but they don't give it all away. This keeps things exciting and keeps others wanting more. As the writer and philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Having a sense of mystery in your life is like having a why that keeps others intrigued. They want to know more about your story, your experiences, your passions. And the more they learn, the more they respect you for it. Imagine this. You're on a date, and instead of sharing every detail of your life right away, you allow the conversation to unfold naturally. You share bits and pieces, but you don't give it all away at once. This creates an air of mystery and makes the other person more intrigued by who you are and what you have to offer. Cultivating mystery isn't about playing games or being deceptive. It's about allowing yourself to remain a little elusive, to leave room for curiosity. This adds excitement and keeps the relationship fresh. So, my friends, practice this habit today. Allow a little mystery to surround you. Share just enough to intrigue, but leave the rest for others to discover. Take a moment now to affirm, I am a mystery worth discovering. Let this affirmation remind you that you are complex, interesting, and deserving of respect and curiosity. By cultivating these 10 habits, you'll not only attract attention, but earn respect and admiration. Let me know how these habits transform your approach to relationships, and feel free to share any insights you have along the way.